very good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Metta Centre. Welcome to the friends who are joining us in person as well as also online. And of course, a special welcome to Thay, all the way from France, to come and offer these teachings to us tonight. It's such an honour. And I'm now going to invite our brother friend who's going to tell us a bit about Thay tonight.
Okay, I stay.
Do you need a chair? Yes, please.
You okay? Well, I can stand up.
Yeah, sit beside me.
Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Din. Okay, and I came to Australia nearly 54 years ago. That's a long time, when I was at the young age of 17. And I came across the teaching of Thich Hanh. Thich Hanh is our teacher. Okay, he came originally from Vietnam, and he went to France. And during that period, he organized a kind of sea trip by boat to help to rescue the Vietnamese refugees that are trying to escape Vietnam to go to some of the free countries at that time, including Australia, Singapore, and other countries in the Southeast Asian country. So I was very fortunate to meet him, and at that time, Thich Hanh, he's a very, very well-known Vietnamese monk. He had very, very deep teaching about meditation, mindfulness, and so on. And so, I got to know Thich Hanh at that time, and was working with Thich Hanh for, a few weeks during his stay there. So, during that time and later on, I was able to meet up with Thay Phap Lu. If you translate it into Vietnamese, about Thay Phap Lu means the wandering monk. Okay? Wandering monk, that means that the monk, who is always on the move. To get to know people, to get to know the country, and if it is possible, whenever he has time, he would, engage in kind of dialogue to help the people to understand about themselves, to understand about mindfulness, and to be able to go through the process of self-healing. Thay, 2 years older than I, and at that time, Thay got a scholarship to come to France, to study Western medicine. He graduated as a medical doctor, and he was working at the hospital, at the health clinic, and so on, in France. And he was speaking French very fluently, and he was able to help a lot of people, in France at that time, who come to his help, not only for the healing of the physical body, but also help, the realignment of, the emotional, mental, and spiritual body. I got to know Thay very well, and I admire, his discipline, his wisdom, his knowledge. And so, many years, whenever he came to Australia, I had the opportunity, whenever it's possible, to organize, some public, talk and help the Australian audience to know a little bit, not only about the teaching of Thich Hanh, but also the personal experience that Thay spent so many years working, at Plum Village as a student of Thich Hanh as well. You can see that, when you look at our body, I consider, we have 4 bodies. The first one is the physical body. The second one is the emotional body, and the mental body and the spiritual body. And those four bodies within us, it's just like the four wheels of a car. If one of them, is faulty, has some problem, the whole car could be totally useless. It cannot function very well. And so with Thay teaching, it was able to help us to be aware of the functioning of our four bodies. Help us help all of those bodies to function, to work with each other so that we have a working vehicle. And today I'm very happy to have an opportunity to introduce you, especially to the wisdom, the personal knowledge, the personal encounter of Thay, especially in his work as a Western medical doctor. And later on, when you realize more about the integration of the body and the soul, he was able to move into Eastern medicine, and he combined his knowledge of Western as well as Eastern medicine, and hopefully tonight it will help each and every one of us to get to know a little bit more about ourselves and the ability of self-healing. Because of self-healing, when we realize it, then we would realize that the inner man of the heart, or our inner self, actually has that ability to heal, yourself wonderfully. So I'm very happy to be here tonight and do a little bit of introduction, and I will carry out the rest. And if any of you has any question, later on, you are free, to ask. And if I can help, to elaborate, to help you to know a little bit more about Thay Phap Lu, a traveling monk, I'm happy to do so. Thank you so much, Thay.
Yeah, thank you, Father. So we will hear 3 sounds the bell. Then we can, for each bell, we can breathe in, breathe out 3 times. And we breathe with our belly, and we keep our back straight, our shoulder relaxed, and we can look in front of us around 1-2 meters. And we are aware of our belly going up when we feel it, and going down when we empty it. Breathing in, I am aware I am breathing in, and breathing out, I am aware I am breathing out. So dear Thay, dear friends, we address to you some discovery, beginning with the first time when I practiced meditation. at about 14 years old, because my teacher at that time was a colleague of my root teacher. He was studying in Japan, and he came back to Vietnam, and he taught us the judo, the armor show from Japan. And before that, because we are toddlers, we are young adults or young, very young people. So we have to calm down ourselves, and we have about 10 minutes of practicing meditation. And so they taught us to look at our nose, and they promised that if you look carefully, you can see the multi-colors beams. And I think if I make progress, perhaps I will discover something more. In fact, when I come back to meditation under the guidance of my master Thich in Plum Village, I was a little disappointed because my teacher said to me, being aware of your breath, there are 16 exercises taught by the Buddha in the full awareness of breathing. The exercises awareness of your breath is for beginners and for the whole life. There is nothing more. And then I think still okay for me, because we use a lot our mind and we don't have a way to stop it. We can worry, about something. We have some memory, and we have some fear, and things can get along in our mind, one thought to one another, and then the one, and so on, all the time. We don't have the way to stop it, and mindfulness is the way. You just be aware, and thinking is using a part of your brain, and breathing is using another part. Neuroscience teach us that thinking is using the superficial part of the brain, and breathing and relaxing our body is using the center part of our brain. So instead of using all the time the same part, which we call it our habit energy, we used to do something, and we like to repeat it. So now if we are aware that it can make us, give us negative consequences, we can stop our brain by not thinking anymore, but just coming to our belly, feeling it, emptying it, relaxing your body. smiling to relax your face. And that's it. You have the switch to stop your mind. Is it wonderful? Very, very wonderful. But I discovered during my my practice with my teacher. I came to Plum Village in 88 when Plum Village was open just about 5 years. And we have a lot of time with our teacher. We were, about 7, 8 disciples with him. And we have wonderful teaching 2 times a week. And Thầy, our master, stayed with us to have dinner sometimes, but mainly to have lunch and tea meditation. And some discoveries are stunning. The first one, is that there is no definitive or no final. Our lives do not have something predestinated. Means your life is open. You can decide whenever you die. It's just discovery, very stunning one. You think at first that because you do not have any more energy, and you stop dying. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Dying is optional. You can decide not to die. Very stunning. Huh? And many examples. The first one is that at the time of the Buddha, even Buddha lived until 80. Some disciples regretted that they didn't have the cleverness to ask Buddha to live more. But there are a lot of examples, that let you know that it's you who decide when you die. And you decide when you die because when you are ready. So the example that is stunning to me is when in 96, I was in Plum Village, 1996. And my father came back to Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh, to Vietnam, because he has cancer, and the doctors there in Canada said to him, we cannot do anything more. So he came back to Vietnam to die. And even we think that he doesn't have much time. He stayed more than 1 year. And I was visiting him in spring. And then one day in summer, the end of summer, about September, he announced to his to the family that he will die in 2 days, 3 days. And then he want to see everybody from the province, from far away. And at that time, transportation in traveling in Vietnam is still difficult. But people in my family, many cousins of mine and so on, big family, many went to the capital, to Saigon, to Ho Chi Minh, to see him. And they found him normal as usual, a little tired, being on bed. He has a lot of suffering from metastasis of his cancer. Metastasis perhaps in the bones. And but he seems normal. He seems normal. And because they are all together, so they discuss, and somebody, helping with the cooking. So they have, they have a meal, and then, at that moment, he asked somebody to call me. I was in France, he was in Vietnam. But I was I was driving car, I was not in Plum Village. And at that time, we didn't have a mobile phone. So he cannot talk to me. I never hear his last words. Because in the evening, when people are occupied somewhere, when they come back to his room, he's gone. So, and this is the second discovery about right view. Right view, for the Buddha is what coming from you and you believe firmly this is right view. My father believed at that day he will die. And he died at that moment, and he has the right view of the situation. How it comes? This is the power of the mind. Both. So it's very important, if you want to decide of your life, of the happiness of your life, to master the mind or to know more about your mind. You have to decide a lot. This one, not many people pretend that we can decide not to die, but many people, not only practitioners in meditation, many examples that if they decide to live longer, they can. So the power of the mind is the beginning of our energy, taught by the Buddha. And so, if you decide to live, even you have cancer, you can live even you have metastasis. And this one is very important. many people, believe that when the doctor announced you, now we don't have anything to do with you, or because we have tried every treatment and the cancer is progressing, and you have cancer everywhere in your body. So people are despair because the doctor, we have a reflex to find the help from the doctor, from medicine, from the hospital, and then we don't find any help, we get despair. And because the mind is very powerful, if you are despair, you will die. If you don't know about, that you can have metastasis. People can have metastasis, and they still survive 20 years, 19 years after, doctor discover the metastasis. So why you have to do with fear, despair, and this make make your mind lose all the energy, and this will make you die. That will kill you because you have the conviction that you will die. But if you have many things to do, and one of the things that nurture mind is joy and happiness. And then you give more energy to your mind. And second, instead of fear and despair, you have joy and happiness. This one make your energy go down. This one make your energy go up. Here, despair, fear, worriness, and so on, a lot. This is positive, and this is negative. And you go with the teaching of the Buddha. Because you have the conviction, you have the right view, so you have energy to be diligent. This is the teaching of the five energy. And diligence will give you the mind belief, conviction, belief. Awareness, mindfulness, and awareness will make you more focused, concentration, focus. And with the concentration, you will have the inside. Inside also, understanding, concentration will give rise to insight, and this insight will give more energy to your mind, to your belief, to the right view. And this is the way of functioning of our mind, the positive one. If you are diligent, you must recognize what makes you happy, joyful, and what makes you depressed, fear, worriness, despair. And so, because you are aware of that, you always go to the action that are positive one. And if you are always in joy and happiness, you give understanding. And if you have more understanding, you will go to the fruitful action and you have more joy. So if we are convinced that breathing, relaxing our body with the sound of the bell, we will be diligent. We repeat it more often. And if we are convinced, we have the belief that we can find our energy inside of us to face difficulties, suffering, disease, sickness, and so on, We have the teaching of the Buddha. If you don't have joy, if you don't have happiness, if you have some feeling or some emotion that makes you down, makes you depressed, despair, make you suffer, and then just come to your breath, be concentrated on it, be aware, and then if you stay with the awareness of your breath, of the belly, of the movement of the belly, and if you stay long enough, or even the second that you are in action, in awareness of breathing, you are not anymore in despair or in fear. And you can relax your body. It's another action. You can move your back. You can let your shoulder relax. You can smile. While you are occupied with that, your worriness is lesser and lesser, or you forget your worriness, you forget your fear, you forget your despair. And with that, you understand because you have experienced the relief of suffering, of pain. I have had many teeth taken out lastly, and while they are making anesthesia, the needles are very painful. So I just relax myself. I concentrate on my breath. And meditation is that either the mean, the way to make you facing your pain. You don't need to go to the dentist to have a toothpaste. You just cross your leg and you stay 1 hour, 2 hours, and then you have more and more pain. And you have the real situation of having pain. What can I do? And you practice concentration on your breath, relaxing your body, and with the repetition, with the diligence, because it's a good habit. You are making your brain aware of the pain in the body, when because you are aware, so the brain can produce more endorphin. Endorphin. How you pronounce it? Endorphin. Like that. So this is, anti-pain, very powerful. So if I have, if I am concentrated on my breathing, my pain is lesser. And Vietnamese dentists are very used to take out the teeth. So I am surprised. They said to me, finish or finish. I think they are just making some anesthesia. In fact, when I feel that they are pushing, moving, they are, taking out the teeth. So when you exercise each day, to have a pain is not something that depresses you anymore. Because if you do not exercise, when you have problems you are not used to, and you do not know how to face your negative feelings. And because of that, the brain gets stuck or get stunned, astonished, do not have, somewhere to concentrate its energy. So when you continue to be aware of your breath, means the object of your concentration is your belly, and inside your belly is your diaphragm. And Eastern medicine teach you that where there is awareness, the blood is going there. And because you are concentrating, so a lot of you are focused on your diaphragm. So a lot of blood will come to your diaphragm. And in the same way, because you are, controlling your diaphragm. So you do the movement slowly and you make the diaphragm exercise more, contracting more to keep, its position. Because when you empty your belly, you can continue to empty it again and again. And when you empty more, the diaphragm is trained to have more blood. And with that, with the concentration of your blood, the body sends the blood to the heart and nourish it. And if the heart is continuing to be nourished, it can continue to walk with you and you stay alive. So the first exercise in meditation is the last one for your life. If you want to save your life, just be aware of your body, relax your body so that the blood can come into the center and focus on your breathing so that no more blood is losing because of fear, because of anger, because of worriness. All the blood are coming to help your heart. And this is the effect of concentration. If you have more concentration, more blood will go to the heart, and more blood to the heart will be distributed to the brain. And if you nourish well your brain, you will have insight. The brain is working not only the superficial part, but if all the brain with its mystery, how my father can know that he will die very soon. If I can talk with him, I will have the answer right away. I don't have the chance, so I have to practice now and more to get this answer. We will hear now the sound of the bell to come back to our practice. So in Eastern medicine, I discover that all organs are working to have each other. They have the capacity to replace one another. So very astonishing. The Western medicine see in the analytic way by analyzing, and they see one part of the body. They don't see the whole picture. But Eastern medicine asks you to replace the sickness of one organ to the whole body. If you want to heal, one organ, it's better that the whole body get healed. As many organs feel healthy. So if you let them work well, they can, lift the sick organs by helping each other. They have the sick organs. And so we have in our society, when you get old, sick, lot of handicap, it's the nurse, young nurse, people who are healthy, who have energy and knowledge that can help you. So we call that the effect of many organs. We have, the example of diabetes. The example of diabetes is that if you eat too much sugar, your pancreas is working too much, and many cells will die out of exhaustion. They overwork and they die. These cells. So you don't have any more insulin, and you have diabetes. But in the beginning of the last century, in 1920 or 1930, people have a cure, a diet, of crabs. In this moment, we have a harvest of crabs. It's the season. So in Europe, they take a cure of crabs for those that are diabetic. And they repeat it because there is effectiveness, there is healing, there is progress in the diabetes, in people with diabetes. What is the cure of crabs? They eat crabs all the day, for 1 week or for 10 days. And you know that crabs has a lot of sugar. And diabetic people cannot digest sugar. Why do we want to heal diabetic people with sugar? And they do that, and they have good results. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Why? The fact is that they get good results.
Because we don't have anything except crabs.
Yes, because pancreas, is also digesting carbohydrates like flour, like rice, bread, potatoes, noodles with amylase. And also pancreas have to digest the fat with lipids. I do not have a right accent. And proteins. But mainly there is insulin. And also for pancreas, glucagon. And now, they talk a lot about GLP, G1LP or GLP1, something like that. Ozempic for fat people, so that they can eat without taking more weight. And glucagon like peptide. And this is, what is the function of pancreas. 5 enzymes. And if you eat only crabs, the pancreas is not working on lipids, amylase, proteins, no glucagon. You have all the time a lot of sugar. Glucagon is a tool when you have a low sugar, low blood sugar, glucagon will make it elevate. So because pancreas do not have to do all this work, you have more insulin to be produced, and this will heal lesser or more your diabetes. So the teaching of the Buddha is that everything is a changing, impermanence. So there is no, there is no if you have diabetes, you are taught that you have to treat yourself, for the whole life. But for the Buddha, everything is impermanent. If you are sick, you can heal yourself. If you understand the reason that makes you sick, and if you suppress all these reasons, you don't have any more the disease, the sickness. It's fundamental in the teaching of the Buddha that each event have many causes and conditions, and there is impermanent. So there is no despair until you are dead. As the life is changing, so if you keep you alive, and if you understand why you have a problem with diabetes, with cancer, with you fear of strokes, of cardio problems, cardiac problems with your heart, or cancer problems, Alzheimer problem, Parkinson, and so on. If you understand these disease, you can ask to stop or to alleviate your sickness and to prevent them. So it's too long, But for diabetes, you can renew the cells that produce insulin by letting your pancreas at rest. Means you don't eat anymore, no fat, no carbohydrates, no proteins, or you eat lesser, or you eat the minimum, and with that you let your pancreas at rest. You eat fruits and vegetables, and because you eat crabs, fiber and some sugar, but this is a juice. Sugar are diluted. Juice is a liquid. Noodles is a solid. So noodle or bread have more calories to be digested. So if you eat fibers, vegetables, and fruits, your colon, the big intestine, will have to work while your pancreas is at rest. And because the colon is superficial, the blood will go first, to the inner part, the place, the area of your pancreas to nourish your colon. It means because you are eating, the digestive system is at work. And because it's at work, it is nourished, your pancreas get nourished while they are resting. So the insulin, cells, insulin producing cells will renew themselves. And if you continue that diet, you will see that you don't need, or you need less and less treatment medicine for diabetes. And because also the colon, by working, have hormone that stimulates your pancreas to multiply and to renew itself. And this is the treatment in Eastern medicine. They want that the body get balanced. And the most important is balance. What is inside of your body and what is in the peripheral. If you are thinking too much, you need more sugar for your brain. And with that, you are hungry and you eat. Most of the time, you eat so well, so rich, and your digestive system has a lot of work. And because of that, the blood is coming from the brain to your digestive system. And this is the way many people stop their worriness. They enjoy the food. And because there is a work inside, the blood is not going to the muscle. And if there is no nourishment for the muscle, there is no nourishment for your bone, no marrow nourishment. Bone and marrow, is essential to renew your blood cell and your immune cells. So if there is not a good immune system, you get COVID and you get many complications with cancer because you don't have immune cell to eliminate cancer cells. And so there is no problems to change your way of life. If you are convinced, if you have the right view, you will have the energy to change your habit, your way of life, and you will have, you can get rid of your problems, of your suffering, of your disease. It's what we hope. We can be our doctor because we are aware much more other people what are our way of life, what makes us joyful, happy, what makes us feel at ease, and what makes us suffer to have disease. So thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Thay. Thank you so much, Thay. Such an interesting and informative talk. I think we've got probably a lot of questions. So I'm going to open the room for any questions. If anyone has any questions online, you could just post it into the chat. For those in person, you can ask your questions, or there are also pens and paper if you prefer to write it and pass it over to me. Perhaps, Thay, while we're waiting for people to ask a question, if I can start with a question.
Please.
So we usually talk about old age, sickness and death. So you've spoken today about how dying is optional. In some ways, sickness is also optional, at least it's impermanent. How about aging? Let's complete the all three. What would you say about aging?
Our patriarch, he's a Chinese patriarch, Hòa thượng Hư Vân Su Dinh. He is not dying because he do not want to die. So he live 120 years old. So if you are 60, you are half life, you are still very young. A lot of life in front of you. So if you have a past, very, interesting mission to accomplish, so you are joyful, and because of many causes and conditions, you just accept whatever you are. If you have more cleverness, you have more experience, you have more years. And what is the problem? Do you want to have experience, insight, knowledge, and cleverness, so that you have more joy? So it's the interesting view of old age. Buddha was old, but he has a lot of activities. He's teaching his disciples. He's going on rounds, and then each day he's walking. Many months going from the south of India to the north where he was born at the end of his life. Is he old to be in wheelchair or in his bed? No, he's still young. If you are active, you are alive. And when you are alive, with more insight, more understanding, more love, you can make many people happy. So I prefer to be a little older. There is no problem with me to be old. I have now 73, on the way to 74, and I still very happy with my health, because at 40 I was very sick, and I first came to Plum Village, 38, 40, and my teacher gave me the name of companion while we are traveling. This is the man, the companion of the Dharma, of the practice. I am not a traveler. I am with my Sangha, and I find my Sangha everywhere. So I feel at home everywhere.
Thank you. Such a beautiful answer. So the answer really to keeping our youth is the practice, the Dharma practice, not makeup. Huh?
Practice of joy.
Excellent. And someone online has said, what amazing information. Thank you for sharing. So we've got some questions, Thay. One question online is, I wonder, how do we treat our body in Buddhism if it is already plagued with sickness like cancer or a heart problem?
Please repeat.
If someone's already got sickness, such as cancer or heart problem, how do we treat the body in our Buddhist practice?
Ian here, Ian Gola. He got the cancer at 27 years old. In Australia. You see it or not?
Yep.
G.
Yep.
And he has discovered that we can heal ourselves by changing our way of life. So he talks about healing, also accelerated healing, because once he get his ligament and tendons broken, and he has his shoulder completely frozen. He cannot move anymore, and he needs surgery. The surgery can heal him at least 2 months or more. It depends on rehab or exercises after the surgery. So many people have this problem, and 1 year, 2 years later, they still have some remaining pain, difficulties. And with the mind, with meditation, with the relaxation, with the visualization, with the massage, he has healed himself in 5 days. Accelerated healing. You are Australian. You must, have more knowledge about Ian Gola. And he overcome his cancer, bone cancer. At that time, no survival. No people survive. He can survive. So he is an example that dying is optional, that cancer, even with metastasis, do not kill you. Despair and fear kill you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thay. Someone online says, yes, Ian Gower is a great Buddhist practitioner who knows a lot about preparation for death in the Tibetan tradition. Highly recommend him. And in fact, we're planning to invite him to speak at our Wednesday sessions. And also he spoke at the Vajrayana Institute here in Australia as well. So lovely to have this community, this Sangha, as Thay has said. So someone else has asked a question for you, Thay. Can Thay share more about advantages and disadvantages of eating meat on health?
Eating meat, what is the advantage and the disadvantage? When you don't have anything to eat, you have to eat meat. The advantage is to keep you alive.
That's the only time.
In Tibet, they don't have much vegetable, so they cannot observe vegetarian or vegan. Or when people, they have an accident in the Andes in South America, and they survive and so on. After war, they reveal that they have eaten liver of dead, the corpse of the corpses of the dead people. But for millions of years, we are eating leaves and fruits, vegetables. Sure that we have eaten also small animals with hunting. And before agriculture and animal stocks, we don't have meat or meat all the day, all the time. So our body is not prepared or is not designed to eat meat. And with the compassion, because animals suffer a lot with nowadays animal stocks, they are in bad conditions and they get a lot of chemical hormones, so that meat can be produced at a good price. But the teaching of the Buddha is that the suffering of the animal is contained or is transmitting to you through the meat, and sure that their suffering, their disease, can be transmitted. And many years ago, cow or oxes are fed with sick sheep, and we have mad cows. The problems of sick animal transmitted to other animals. And we were also an animal. Do you feel at ease when you eat, sick animals, knowing or not knowing what are the consequences? So you have the choice. And if you see that you have eaten a lot of proteins, the first consequences is that you misuse of your digestion capacity. Means when you eat the protein, the meat, the body have to digest in the digestive system. If you don't eat the meat, you don't have the digestion. And the blood can nourish other parts of your body. We used to go trekking, for the whole day in the mountain in Thailand. And we wake up the next morning, all the pain yesterday, have been gone. So we continue many days like that because we are vegan. We are vegan, so during the day when our muscle get stiff, get painful, get hurt, in the evening, we don't eat much. We are drinking or we take a banana, some vegetables. We are so tired, so we don't eat dinner or very light one. No meat at all. So in the night, the body will they need proteins. So they go and the blood is not occupied to the digestion because meat needs a lot of time for the digestion. So this blood is circulating everywhere in our body and they are digesting, new cell, old cell, dead cell, cancer cell. They digest all these and they replace, they, recycle these cells to make new cells. Exactly when you have an useful wheel in your car, somebody talks about cars. If you want a new wheel, you need to take out the used one before you put a new one. If you cannot digest on your hurt ligament and tendon and muscle, you will have rheumatism and you have problems with your knee, with your back, everywhere because all your blood is occupied with the digestion. And meat always contains fat. So be careful if you want to keep your body clean and protect your heart. Do not abuse of meat, and you know very well that the meat make a lot of pollution, deforestation, because they want to produce more grass to nourish or more grains to nourish animal stocks. So please diminish at least at 50% at the minimum of meat or protein in your meal.
Great tips. Thank you so much, Thay. Any questions from the floor here in the audience in person? Any questions? Any other questions online? You're also welcome to unmute yourself. Okay. Otherwise, Thay, you've got a retreat coming up just this weekend on the 22nd and to the 25th of March. And that's in the Connaught lands in New South Wales. So it's 30 acres, beautiful land and scenery. And it's the Mindfulness and Health Retreat.
We wish to apply all our knowledge into the daily life. Yeah. Like if you do not have exercises because you are thinking too much or you are having too much responsibility, then you can be in the nature. You can make touching the prostration, qigong, and you can have light meals so that your body can heal itself. But we develop these times the subject when we have a lot of time with our 3 days retreat.
Wonderful. And for those who are online, we've posted the link to the registration and some information into the chat. And for those who are here in person, we can share it with you afterwards as well. So Thay, would you say that a lot of times when we get sick, it's because we're imbalanced in some way? So maybe excessive or deficient, and that's why, so maybe too much thinking, too much or not enough exercise or something. So it's that imbalance.
Yes, because we need all our cells, all our organs. And if we need justice, equanimity, no discrimination between ourselves, we need to nourish not only our digestive system, but also our muscle, to have more immune cells and to prevent our body from cancer or from next fung epidemia of virus and so on. So the balance between how children can be active and how adults can be dull or so serious, no joy, no running, no climbing in the trees. This is the way we can change our way of life going to the retreat.
Yes, please.
I was just wondering,
Can you speak up a little bit?
Thầy have you met Thầy Thích Hanh when he was just opened the Plum Village?
5 years after he's opened.
Yeah. How did you find out about it?
I have read his books when I was 13 or 14 years old. And I heard, I have a friend who attend his summer retreat. At that time, Plum Village is open only once a year. And so she came back from the previous year, and I have to wait 1 year to summer to go to Plum Village. And the first time I went there is in 1988, when I was 38 years old. And I still stay in Plum Village.
So when did you decide that becoming a monk is your calling, like become a monk?
My teacher convinced me that we need people, to spread the good news or the good teaching, the good practice. And I was a lay person in the community. And he says we need more Buddha, more clever people, more practitioners to help with the suffering of the world. And I tell myself, why my teacher, ask so much people and people all around is answering, why I am so near to him and I am deaf, deaf, I still deaf, don't understand his message. So I decided, in the last year of the previous century to become a monk. And I have a lot of joy to stay in the community and to be with my teacher, my brothers and sisters, and we stay young because we all father, and many father are coming very young to the Sangha. My sister, one of my sister, when we were ordained in the same time, she came to the practice the pagoda at 13 or 14 years old. And it's not an exception. So, because I stay with young father, young sister, I hope to stay young.
That's my trick too. I hang out with kids. Yes.
And I believe that whatever you do, whether you live just a normal life, a married life, or a life of a monk, if you don't have joy in your heart, you would suffer. And definitely, when you live a life without any joy, you bring death closer and closer to yourself every day. And whatever you practice, if you don't have joy, then you know that you are doing the wrong thing.
So Venerable, someone has said, I heard you recommend Qigong.
Brother, not venerable.
Oh,
Young monk.
of course. Only halfway through your life. A question. I heard you recommend Qigong. Do you know any good places to learn this?
Right here.
Yeah, in our retreat,
Okay.
we practice the Qigong in the beginning of our morning.
Okay.
But you can ask the Australian Sangha, as I do not come from Australia, I cannot recommend you. I don't know about local people, not much.
Well, I think the recommendation is come to the retreat this weekend. Very good. Okay, any last questions? Yes.
Such a question that, so if we are in the present, then our brain doesn't work that hard. If we are just thinking about or worrying about something, the brain is much less putting work in it, and the blood is not rushing to the brain. And the same thing, that the less you think is as good as that you eat less as well. So less thinking, better for the rest of the body.
So we have good reason to relax ourselves, to be in the joy, to just focus on our breath. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I think we can close with a closing prayer or dedication of merits led by Thay.
Yeah. We can chant praising to the Buddha, to be in short and in communication, communion with many practitioners. They just chant Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. It means homage to the honor one, the one that merits offering, the fully enlightened one, the Buddha. So we will end with that. You just chant, when I have the solo, you listen to it, and I give half of a sound like that, and you start. And then after that, I will chant again the solo. And this is the practice of one breath. You don't stop to breathe in. You just go out, you know. So you are training your diaphragm. So I chant the first, and you will hear about one sound of the bell. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo
tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato.
Thank you so much, Thay. That was an incredible session. Thank you so much for your sharing of the Dharma, your enthusiasm for the Dharma and for life, and just sharing your joy and your knowledge with all of us, and encouraging all of us to keep practicing with the mind that is full of joy, diligence, awareness, concentration, and insight, of course. So wishing everyone the same and with good health as well. And I just have some short announcements to make about some of the events that's coming up for Metta Centre. So next weekend, after you go to Thay's retreat this weekend, next weekend you can come to our retreat. So we have a 9-day natural samadhi retreat with Bhante Nanda, who is visiting us from Canada. We have invited him to come, and he will be leading this retreat in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains. Very beautiful property, also in nature as well. So come, heal, take some time to practice for yourself and for the benefit of others. And on that retreat, it is a by donation retreat. So it's actually a free retreat. You don't have to pay anything, but if you want to make a donation to pay it forward, that will help us sponsor future retreats for other people as well. And next week, same time, same place as our regular events. So every week on the Mondays, we have meditation in this room, and that's from 6:30 to 7:30. And then on the Tuesday, we have mindful yoga, same time, same place in this room as well. And on the Wednesday, so every Wednesday nights, we have talks by incredible speakers such as Thay, who come and offer teachings to all of us. And it's non-sectarian, so the teachers come from different traditions on a variety of topics. So that's from 7 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. In this location, as well as also online. And next Wednesday, we have Patrick Carney, who will be back to talk about seeing and understanding. So talking about particularly in terms of Vipassana practice. So I invite you all to come. And one special event that's happening on the 13th of April, there is a Bhutanese cultural event. It's a festival that we are hosting at Parramatta Western Sydney University in the auditorium. It has a capacity of 1,000 people and it's completely free. So we have performers as well as also Rinpoche who'll be visiting from Bhutan, and it's going to be incredible. So free performances, free talks, guided meditation, and there's going to be food stores and a variety of stores. So it's going to be a whole heap of fun. So I hope you and your family can join us. There's a kids corner as well, so kids are also very welcome to come. And I hope you can enjoy it. And it's a completely free event, so you can tell your friends about it as well. If you would like to know more about Metta Centre and what we do, you can follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram. You can check out our website. You can also join our newsletter. So we do have a red book over there if you want to pop your details down. So you can put your email for the newsletter, and also if you want to join our WhatsApp group, we share very regularly about events that's happening, not just in Metta Centre, but around various places, and share information as well. So you can pop your phone number on there as well. For those who are joining us online, we also have that information on various links for you. And finally, if you would like to support the work that we do, then you're welcome to make a donation. We do have some free distribution books here as well. But I think it would be great if we could also make a donation towards Thay's expenses, because he hasn't asked for this, but I think this is just nice for me to ask, because he's come all the way from France. So if anyone would like to make a donation, his organisers are here, and I'm sure they would love to receive something to support that costs. And also for those who are online, if you would like to make a donation, we can also share that information with you as well. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Just if anyone wants to inquire about the retreat this coming weekend, they can give me a call on email that you've got on the flyers there.
Great.
For anyone.
Thank you. And I'll share that flyer very soon so you can see it on the screens, but we've also popped that information into the chat for those who are here as well.
And they don't need to attend the entire retreat if they just want to try.
Yeah,
good. Because I understand sometimes Monday's not easy for everyone.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear that online, if you can't come for the whole retreat, you can also come for part of the retreat as well. And I think that after the talk tonight, I would highly recommend it that everyone attends. So thank you all so much
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We just express our thankfulness to nature, to our earth. So.
Thank you, everyone. Hi.
We bow.
Thank you. Thanks, Thay.